Recently, Zacoustic hosted a customer event at the Fairmont Hotel in Austin. Let's join customer experience leader Paulo Silva as he describes how Zacoustic drove ROI while vastly improving customer experience for one of his largest customers, a well-known streaming service.
Look at overall your efficiency gains. I'll give you a great example. We recently had a client of ours that had a situation with one of their call volumes where their steady state volume was running about 13, 15 minutes of AHT. And we all know AHT is such a hard metric to drive into because there's so much complexity that goes into AHT. A portion of that was these registration calls that were coming in north of 20 minutes of AHT. Once we applied Jibe to really understand what was causing that variance and those outliers, we looked at it, and on surface, you could see, okay, everyone was relatively doing the same thing, same practice, but when you identified it a little bit closer, you found that needle in the haystack, where you identified a half a dozen or so agents that were really pulling in lower AHT, and when you bumped it up into customer experience, those numbers were relatively high. And so when you found that combination, customers are happy, really efficient on the interaction, now you started to dig in and, just like the video said, okay, what are they doing differently, and how can we force multiply that into our training, our quality practices, and obviously our production efforts. And when we did that, in terms of your question on the ROI, what we quickly gained was, from a cost perspective, you lowered your AHT, which therefore less opportunity to bill on that element. Your customers were significantly higher. In this particular example, those calls were driving sub 20% quality, and we were able to move that into the 80% realm. So you had much happier customers that were in the mix. And then more importantly, the efficiency gain that you had, because now you had feedback and intel and practices from the front line being deployed to the front line. And it created this ecosystem of really positive. And I'll leave you with this. The number one ROI, in my opinion, is when you have a workforce that adopts the principle of their feedback matters, all of a sudden that translates into how they handle customers and how they handle the interactions. Yeah. And when that's happening, it's a phenomenal result.
So, join the thousands of agents all over the world that are using Jibe to generate actionable customer experience data while transforming your culture through an employee-inclusive strategy. Visit Zacoustic.com today and schedule a demo to learn how your organization can benefit from Zacoustic. Schedule your demo right now.